Good. I'm glad you're being sensible. Besides, you don't really enjoy that boring guard's company, do you?
You know about Arden too? He must be building quite an unflattering reputation for himself.
His reputation is not as poor as you might think. He did get into the Royal Guard, an elite unit, through remarkably hard work, and attracted quite a bit of attention. I don't know him personally, of course. I simply keep abreast of pertinent information. Regardless, it seems like you've been heeding my warning. I tried your bedroom door last night just to make sure it was locked.
What? I should report you to the guards, you know. Next thing, you'll be smashing through the balcony doors.
Come now. Do you really want to act so callously against one of the few people who can keep you safe? I promise, I have your best interests at heart.
You've been spouting all this nonsense and acting like some grand benefactor, but I don't have any reason to believe a word of what you say. Isn't it a little ironic that the most disturbing encounter I've had so far has been with you? No one's pulled a knife on me or given me any reason to mistrust them. Except you.
I guess it'd be rather hypocritical for me to tell you to be on your guard around others, but not give you a reason to trust me, The little kitten learns fast.
Can you cease and desist with this kitten nonsense? It might work on some shy maiden, but I assure you I'm nothing of the sort.
Really? I could have sworn I felt your heart pounding like a little war drum when I had you pinned in my arms last night. However, returning to the subject at hand, there are a number of reasons I could give as to why I want to help you, but I doubt you'd believe any of them at this point. But if you want proof as to the fact that this celebration and its guests are more than they seem, I believe the occurrence I spoke of earlier will happen no later than tonight.
The occurrence? Could you be any more vague?
You've played chess before, haven't you? You see the opponent's pieces moving, but a skilled player often masks what they're planning. The best you can do is stay alert.
Then I'll reserve judgment until I see for myself what's afoot. Afterwards, I'll decide if you're a delusional pervert or just an exceptionally well-informed one.
As expected of Lord Verison's son. I trust we'll encounter each other tonight, then. Until then, stay on your toes. The most painful attacks come from the most unexpected of places. Ah, those eyes send sweet shivers down my spine. Well, good afternoon, my little lord.
It's all that bastard Francis' fault, making me all paranoid. It's no use. Have some balls, man. God's sake.
Sorry, sir. I got the wrong room.
Oh, well, don't worry about it. Looking for someone in particular?
Just Miss Celeste's.
Celeste, you say? I think I may have met her earlier. I didn't know she was in the same hall as me.
I thought she was, but maybe not. I'll go find her. Sorry again.
Right. Hmm? Oh, no.
Is that the little lint picker looking to creep up on me again?
Inquisitor! I was just heading down to the main hall.
I could have sworn there's a much simpler way to get to the main hall than through this back passage.
Well, I was exploring a little, you know. It's a shame to have all this fine art and no one to view it.
Huh. I suppose I owe you an apology.
What?
I was, perhaps, excessively rude earlier. There was an unexpected occurrence this morning that had put me in something of a foul mood.
Well, let it not be said I am an ungracious man. I was probably a little rude back then too, though not as rude as you were, certainly.
Do not push your luck, Verison. Let us put the matter to rest and move on.
Are you heading down as well? Are Grand Inquisitors free to mingle and dance with us common folk?
While my presence here is as a guest of His Majesty, I do not consider myself to ever be off duty. After all, it is not as if treasonous men stop being treasonous during pleasant gatherings. If anything, the risk is higher. If you follow in your father's footsteps and wind up in His Highness's ring of advisors, it is best we learn to tolerate each other. There are many in his circle who I find to be of questionable nature, but nonetheless, it is not my duty to speak against his decisions.
I hope you didn't consider father to be of questionable nature.
He is a man possessed of exceptional perceptiveness, enough so to rival my own. That is all I shall say.
I'll make sure to tell him. I'm sure he'd appreciate a compliment from a man like you.
Do I sense sarcasm in your voice? Need I remind you of our truce?
Oh, is that the Grand Inquisitor? Who's Daddy's with? Are they brothers?
I want to marry a man like that, Regal.
The superficiality of court never fails to disgust me. I long for the day when a man is judged by his actions rather than his outward appearance.
I hate to tell you this, but you'll be longing for that day until you die. If appearances didn't matter here, we'd all be wearing burlap bags.
Perhaps you should be the trendsetter, hmm? A burlap bag on your head would undoubtedly be an improvement. assume there are individuals who would appreciate your company more than myself, so this is presumably where we part ways.
You've already got a seat in mind?
Not particularly. If I find one with a view of the dining room I like, I shall politely request its occupant to vacate.
Well, you're far from my ideal dinner partner. But I don't see anyone else I know around, and I'd rather not be sought out by a certain lady from last night.
Flattering! Have you already been caught up in my suave charm like those admirers from earlier?
Ah, greetings. My name is...
Don't you think I know your name by now, little kitten?
Oh, Fortuna, why must you torture me so?
Oh? I was under the impression you had no friends, Verison, other than your father and that oaf of a guard.
He is the farthest thing from a friend, let me tell you.
Ah, I see, I see. Well, we do live in a progressive time. There's nothing wrong with two men deeply in love.
You hear that? Nothing wrong with giving in to your desires.
However, it is entirely inappropriate for Verison's son to frolic with an obvious foreigner. You should cease such disgusting actions immediately.
Grand Inquisitor, right? I see the king has played one of his trump cards a little early.
Trump card? Why in heaven's name would he need to do that?
I think you know as well as I do, Inquisitor. But I'm sure you've got everything under control.
Look, they're bringing the food out, finally. I'm completely famished, aren't you two? Wow, they brought desserts too! My goodness, look at all that cake! I'm almost tempted to skip the main courses!
Sweets for the sweet, they say. You should eat all the cake you like, kitten. It'll make your lips taste sublime, I'm sure.
What irresponsible advice. Replenish your energy properly with a balanced meal, Varison.